to the Cards and Comic Show. Welcome back to Cards and Comics. Today I have a very special PSA grade reveal in mail day. Now, I will talk about it for a little bit. These cards were sent off to PSA last year, I think around December, and I got them back in March, actually, the first time. But with PSA and how they grade and send cards, you can't really predict when they're going to ship cards to you. And unfortunately, these were sent to me while I was on vacation. And so they attempted to deliver these 3 times while I was not here. And it's FedEx, not USPS. So, I couldn't stop mail or do anything about it. And so when I got home, I tried to go to the FedEx store and where they were being held. And I was late by 1 day. They had already shipped them back to PSA. And so once they got back to PSA, it took about another 2 months for them to receive them, reprocess them, charge me again for shipping, and send them back to me, which was just disappointing because it took 2 months longer to get the cards than what it should have been. So we'll go into box number 1 because it's got some more of the cards in them. And but it's definitely cards I've been waiting for a long time. I'll start here with actually something that's not as PC as some other stuff, but this is a Marvel Metal Universe red PMG, and this is Peter Porker. I like Spider-Man, and I'm a big Spider Pig or Spider Ham, as he's really known, even though I like the term Spider Pig. So there we go. And move it a little closer. There we go. So this came back in 8. These are very tough grades. And so anyone who actually tries to grade this set knows these are pretty tough. And so it is a nice red. And again, I like the color match with the, uniform or his superhero suit. But this is something that, numbered out of 100. So there you go. A Marvel card. I know, disappointing to start out here, a Marvel card, but I'm a big Spider-Man collector. So again, this is definitely PC stuff for me. All right, next up is a Griffey card, and there we go. It is a Wrecking Crew 96 Topps Chrome. So again, this is one of the inserts from 96 Chrome. You see how shiny 96 Chrome cards are. Get you kind of in the light there. It's just the first year Topps Chrome cards are just so nice, that etching. And again, this is the Wrecking Crew, so you can see that is an actual insert, not a subset. So again, so I came back in 8, and this is, I did, on my later subs, I did wipe down the cards a little bit more than I normally do. So hopefully that, allows me to get maybe a little better grade, but this card has a print line, which is very difficult to avoid. And, centering's pretty good, not perfect. So again, I'm okay with the 8 on this card. I just like having these 96 Topps Chrome. So now I have the base and now the Wrecking Crew in 96. So there you go. All right. Next up is one of the cards I was really excited about. So this is the 1996 Finest Gold Barry Sanders refractor. And you can see how awesome that gold refractor is. Graded a 9, and I'm actually very excited because this has got the protector. So, these protectors are very tough to get back in high grade like this. So there we go. Really, really nice card. I bought this raw on eBay, so always a risk there when you buy this card raw. So very excited to get a Barry Sanders gold refractor. And this is my favorite year for gold, even though the 97 you can get the embossed die cut. I think the base gold, this card looks a lot better. And in fact, I'll show you the other one because I got it graded as well because it was the other card in my other Barry Sanders card in the order. So this is the 97 gold, and you can see it's the gold. I mean, it's a very nice looking card. You can see. The one thing that I think it's interesting is that they don't call it gold because how it's marked on the back from the set. We all in the hobby consider this the rare. There we go, rare refractor to be gold. But it's not labeled that way by PSA. This year is really cool because you get that double-sided refractor going on right there. Pretty awesome. So again, this one graded an 8. So I don't know, a little disappointing, but it does have the protector as well. So I get a common question I get from a lot of other collectors actually, and other people is like, A, do you peel your cards, and B, why don't you peel your cards? Because you get so much better grades. And I'm one of those folks that definitely thinks the cards should be graded as is, for the most part. But in all honesty, like, these cards are meant to be peeled, so I get that argument. My other thing is that these cards are now so old that I've tried to peel some of these cards and I've damaged the cards. And so I'm actually very nervous about trying to peel these cards, especially these high-end Griffey and Sanders cards, and damaging the card. I'd rather almost get the 8 and have the option later on to peel the card if I maybe can find a method that doesn't hurt the card. Or, maybe get the 9, because again, this card, this could be a 9, this could be a 10, right, if it was peeled. But I just don't want to take that risk. I'm a little risk adverse on that. Next up is 2 cards, and this card I knew would grade like this. This is a PSA 6 Crusade Frank Thomas Purple. And I knew this is what the grade would get, but I just wanted to start out with just how awesome these cards look, how shiny these Crusades cards are. And this is the Call to Arms, and some people don't like this design, like the base Crusade. So like the base Crusade, I got a purple Sanders right here. So this is what the base Crusades look like for people who just want to compare. And then they did a subset called Call to Arms, and so Frank Thomas only has a Call to Arms. Supposedly this insert set was going to be done over more products. And he was going to have a base Crusade, but that product was never issued. And I know that there's some backdoored versions of some of those cards. But in a pack, he never had a base card because, they went bankrupt. So it's kind of a shame that he doesn't have this. And just like Griffey doesn't have a Call to Arms, it would have been awesome to have a Griffey Call to Arms and a Frank Thomas base card. But so why he got a 6 is right here, a little bit of delamination right there, where the card, how the card is printed. There's like multiple layers, and one of the layers was kind of peeling up right there. And so it got a PSA 6 because of that. You can see right there, number 64 of 100. I might try to get a higher grade one, but this one was very cheap to own when I bought it. So I decided, might as well get it graded, put it in the collection, and maybe I'll upgrade it at some point. Now, the next card was the only card I was very disappointed in the grade, honestly, because I don't really see why it's the grade it is. And I felt like, I thought it could be a 9, and it came back a 7. And this is the green Crusade. So again, this is the same player, same set, just the green version. So for people who don't know, the greens are numbered at 250. And again, I don't know why this is really a 7. When I looked at it, I thought, I was planning for an 8, hope for a 9, plan for an 8. So I'll just look at it here under a little bit more magnification here. Corners are really tight, and I looked on the back when I got it to see maybe it had some back damage I didn't see. Sorry, I got some shadow there. And so I don't see edges and corners being the problem. So there might be a scratch or some sort of ding, but it just looks really clean and nice. And I don't know. I don't know why this doesn't get an 8 at the bare minimum. So this disappointed me because, it doesn't have the delamination issue or something that's just obviously wrong with it. So I don't know why it's not at least an 8. So just disappointed. Still a great card. I mean, obviously it's still a beautiful card, numbered out at 250. And again, I have the Griffey green as well. So, I'm trying to slowly put together that whole 98 Crusade set. Last but not necessarily least in any realm of possibility for this card, because this is the card I was most excited about getting graded. It's a card that is still very low pop, and I think it's one of the cooler looking Griffey cards that came out in the 90s. It's a card you don't see very often. It is the 97 Griffey New Pinnacle Artist Proof. And this card has so much coolness going on. It has the Dufex going on for it, which you can see how it changes color in the light. I like the photo because, again, it's just a different Griffey photo. Him sliding into a base. And again, that green kind of really with the Mariners colors, almost like a color match. You get the cool green Artist Proof logo there. And again, it's New Pinnacle, not Pinnacle. You got to remember in 97, they had 2 sets. They had the Pinnacle set, then they did. So this is supposed to be Pinnacle Series 2. They decided that, Pinnacle itself as a brand needed to be spruced up. So instead of doing a Series 2 Pinnacle, they did New Pinnacle, which is, I'm not even sure that's even what they called it. I think they just called it like Pinnacle, but it was dubbed New Pinnacle. And therefore, because you can see it just says Pinnacle here on the card, and nowhere on this card does it say, New Pinnacle or whatever. So it was kind of dubbed New Pinnacle by people in the hobby just to distinguish it from Series 1 Pinnacle. But anyway, the card is rare. It's really a nice card. And again, looking at corners, you always think your cards are perfect. I know on grading. But this card definitely is super clean. This card can be damaged so easily out of pack. I've opened packs this product, and these cards aren't the thickest, and so it's so easy for these cards to get damaged on the back. It's just, you can see maybe a slight little whitening right there. Also, tight, but my favorite card by far in the whole order was this card right here. So, just love that card. I mean, all in all, this sub was, it was successful in my opinion, with the Griffey green here. I don't know if it will stand up or not. And the those 2 cards, the Griffey and the Sanders gold, were nice 9s to get. And then everything else graded like I thought they would. And then this card was the only real negative, in my opinion. They're both Willie Mays autos, just to give you the lowdown here. But the first one was 2001 Topps Team autographs, and it came back a 6. So a little disappointed in that. I don't feel like the card was a 6, but the auto itself is really strong. And so looking at the card, I can see, I think it's got, see that one corner is got some damage on it. I think they're seeing that lift up there on that corner. They're like, well, that's more than just a ding, but again, I've seen 7s graded, with that kind of a corner damage. So again, I think it's just however you want to look at it, from a, perspective of like, is that enough damage on that corner to make it a 6 with that little bit, I can see that little dent there. So I can see it a little bit. So I'm not going to be like overly upset. I like the fact that it graded. It's a real auto. They have to authenticate the auto, or, make sure the card's real, because these cards are faked. I mean, people in the bay could fake these stamps and put a fake sticker on the back. So I just wanted to get this card in a holder. And you can see the auto is very clean, and that's really what I bought the card for, was for that clean auto. So yeah, it's a beautiful looking card. It's a 6, but I think the auto being so clean definitely makes it to me what I was looking for when I bought the card. And the thing that's very interesting is they put this card in a sleeve, and they didn't put any of these cards in sleeves. So I don't know what generates the cards in sleeves versus non-sleeves, but anyway, interesting. Now the next card definitely was a home run for me. This is the 2002, so that was 2001 Topps Team, and this is Topps Archive Reserve, and this came back in 9, and so this came back really nice. And again, auto is super clean. There you go, a PSA 9, 62 Topps, Topps Archive Reserve. Just a beautiful card, and it's a refractor, so you get that nice shininess on it. On card auto, beautiful auto. Just really nice card. Now I got this card for a lot of reasons. Obviously, who doesn't like Maze autos, right? But I own the 62 Topps Maze 8, and anyone who knows about Maze cards, that's one of his hardest 8s to get. So I thought it'd be cool to have both the 8 base card, actual card, and then the reprint autograph, as a set. So that's why I kind of bought it back in the day, and it's cool to get it graded. Come back at 9, and again, both of these are very nice autos. So I was hoping this could 7, got a 6. I thought this would 8, got a 9. So in all, I averaged the grades. Overall, it averages out to some extent. So there it is, guys. That is my PSA mail day. Again, just some really, really beautiful cards. I'm really excited about these 4 cards. I just think they're really great. And again, most of these are PC stuff. There's a card or two here that I might take with me to the national trade, or use it for to level up on a card. But the next order I have in PSA has much, much more cards that are going to be national bait cards I would use for trade or to sell. So this is definitely more of a PC type order for me. But let me know in the comments what you think, what card you like the best. And I'm just glad I got these back, because it's been they've been in limbo for the last 2 months. So just glad to get them back in hand. So thanks. I'll see you next time on Cards and Comics. Bye.